Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm sorry it's taken so long, but I got sick. I'm filming this while I'm still sick, so we're gonna have to deal with the punches. Also, I understand the lighting's weird. I'm literally sitting on my bed right now. Listen, the fact that I got up and even turned on the camera, that's an accomplishment on its own, okay? I figured that I'd, turn the camera on and talk about just like what led me to my decision to apply to law school, to undergo the strenuous journey of, studying for the LSAT, taking the LSAT, why? The question of why will be answered in this video. But yeah, like I said, I'm sick, so I'm sorry for my voice. I know it can be awkward. It's awkward for me too. Actually, I'm drinking tea. Tea's helping. It's helping. Tea. But yeah, I'd like to first and foremost thank everybody who's, offered me congratulations and just, talked to me about it, reached out, it means the world. But okay, so today's video is gonna be about why law school. Why did I even choose to do law school? How did the law sector, the law field even pop up into my life? But in order to understand, I have to take it back to high school, or even before then. As a kid going into the education system, there were a lot of things that I liked and there were a lot of things I disliked. My dislikes were actually a lot higher than my likes. So when it came to the time of kind of figuring out a path that I want to go down on, it was difficult. Some people who loved science knew that they just apply to sciences and then go to medicine or, do something in the science field. But others who were super into art knew that they wanted to go be a graphic designer or some sort of artist in their own capabilities. For me, I was very much I had no idea, no idea. Now this isn't to say that I didn't like subjects. In fact, I loved learning. I still love learning. It's one of the reasons why I'm continuing into the more education side of things instead of going straight into the working world, is because I like learning. I like learning about new things, and I just find I find it a lot more fun than making money and doing things that way. Yeah, so I enjoyed subjects, but they weren't something that I wanted to go into. I didn't want to go into the mathematics field. I didn't want to go into sciences, whether it be physics, chemistry, or biology. I didn't like any of them in terms of going into it as a field for further, education and eventually working. I enjoyed English, but I didn't want to be a writer or, anything along those lines. I loved social studies, but being a historian wasn't exactly something I felt passionate about. The only thing that I had fun with, or even something that I enjoyed, was art, right? In grade 11, I switched schools and I just really enjoyed the art program at my new school. I liked graphic design, I liked coding. I took one of those classes. In grade 12 I went to do AP art, so I was into art, but looking back on it, for it to be an actual, I don't know, an actual field I go down on, it just wasn't enough. There wasn't enough there for me to be pulled into the direction, right? And I didn't want to go into a field that I didn't enjoy, because if I didn't enjoy it to the point that I wanted to work on it, I would literally spend the rest of my life in Like, I don't know, I wouldn't be happy for the rest of my life. That was my fear. If I had one fear, it was I didn't want to go down a path that I knew I wouldn't be happy in. And that's why I started saying no to a lot of things. So no, 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 I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do this. A lot of people were telling me to go into the health sciences, and I was like, I don't like blood. I don't like blood. Why would I go into the health sciences, right? By the end of grade 11, I think the consensus in my head was like, okay, I like to do art. I know I don't want to do it as a full-time gig, if that makes sense, but I don't have anything else, right? So let's try this. Let's go down this path. So I took AP art for grade 12, and I started looking at art schools. I applied to a bunch. I got in a bunch, and eventually I was gonna go into one art school and just figure it out. That was my plan. I'll figure it out once I get in there, right? Because I didn't have a proper plan, gonna be honest. What really changed my path and also my outlook on myself and just like what there is out there, like the potential to be for me, was in grade 12 there was a rumor going around, or in grade 11 there was a rumor going around that, hey, this class in grade 12, it's super easy and it's super fun. Take it, you're gonna get a good grade and it's gonna look good on your transcript. And I was like, yeah, sure, I could do with a grade booster, why not? And that class was Law 12. It was taught by a teacher that I never had before. Obviously I'd only been in that school for like a year at that point, so I didn't have this teacher. That was my first class and only class with that teacher, and that teacher changed my life. Literally changed everything I know about myself, who I am, and really set me down the path for law school. So I came in to law, to the law class, and the first thing I remember was in the seating for that class, it was based on alphabetical order, or based on your last name. And let's just say I was nowhere near my friends. I was on the exact opposite side of the classroom. I was the last desk before the teacher. Like the teacher's desk was behind me and it was me. Like I'd be the person who got the papers to hand them out. Like that was my position in the classroom. Not to say it was bad, actually. That was the good part of being in that class, because I got to form this connection with the teacher, and also I wasn't distracted because my friends weren't near me, right? The only thing I had to do in that class was to focus on the content. That's all. That was my one job, and thank goodness for that, because I fell in love. I fell in love with everything that class had to offer. I loved the law that was taught. I loved the fact that I had to do oral presentations. Like, people hated doing these presentations. I loved it. It was awesome because I was talking about a subject that I never knew I was so interested in. It was like I knew being a lawyer existed before. I didn't know what it was about. And also, I wasn't confident enough in my abilities to be like, yeah, I could go down the law field. Yeah, that's me. That's for me. That's totally for me. I was like, in fact, I was like the opposite. I was like, nah, I don't think I'm like ready for anything as serious as law school. Like that was my mental stance on it. Until, of course, this class. So yeah, the year went by, you know, I loved the class, I loved the teacher. So much so, in fact, that I'm pretty sure I talked about the teacher in my personal statement. The year continued, and in my head, being a lawyer was still not a viable option. It just wasn't. I just thought, oh, this was a cool thing that I really love and enjoy, but I could never do it. I'm gonna stick to what I know, you know? Until, of course, it was literally the last day of school, or maybe the last week, and summer was out, or summer was close, and I went to this teacher, I think to give them a goodbye gift or something like that, kind of like a hey, thank you for teaching me, means a lot, you know, enjoy your life while I go enjoy mine. That was the kind of thing, that was the vibe that I wanted to give. And I met with them, and you know, I gave them the present saying like thank you for teaching me and all that stuff. And then they asked me, they were like, what are you gonna do? You know, like, where are you going? And I told them, I was like, oh, I'm planning on going to school, I'm gonna do this, and yeah, we'll see where it takes me. And this part I don't remember exactly, but I remember the impact it had on me. They looked at me and they were like they really looked at me like no other teacher has said this to me or really impacted me this much. But they looked at me and they were like, you know, you can do a lot more. Like, you have the capability to do a lot more. Don't waste what you have. And for a second I was like, oh, that's weird. That was my first thought. I was like, oh, that's a little weird, I want to leave. Because I wasn't used to it, right? But it really resonated with me. And in the car on the way home, my mom asked me, oh, so how was school? You know, and I told her, I was like, oh, you wouldn't believe what my law teacher told me. And over the year I was telling her and my parents just about the law class and, you know, how awesome it was. And I told her about it, and she told my dad, and my dad sat me down. He was like, so let's do it. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? He was like, yeah, you know, you got into this university, you know, go there, you can do, you know, these things, and on the side you can, you know, if you're so interested, do law in the future. And that's where my little plan formed, and this was a lot more concrete than my art plan that I had at the time. I decided, you know, I would go to SFU, I would take communications, I'd take criminology, I would be exposed to more of the Canadian justice system and the government also through the classes I would take in both communications and criminology. And if I didn't like it, I had a way out, right? I was minoring in criminology. I had a, you know, a few more doors open if I went down this path. So that's what I did. I went to university, and I really had to make sure that if I wanted to do law, if I wanted to put my all into it, I would enjoy it. And thank God I took a minor in criminology, because I learned about so many things and so many events, the injustices that can happen, and just some of the crazy things about our justice system in general that really like put a fire under me, you know? Like, I never had this feeling before. I was like, oh yeah, I want to do this. I want to go into this. This is something I want to put more focus into it. At that point I was like, yeah, for sure, this is something I want to do. But still, I was like, where would I, what would it give me back, you know? I know I could do this, but I'm gonna put so much effort into doing something and going into this. I want to feel something back, you know? And it was actually either that year or I mean the following months, when the news broke out about just the tragedies and the injustices that happened with the Aboriginal children in the residential schools. Like, everyone knows about residential schools. We all learn it. I've been learning about them since elementary school, right? They've always impacted me in a way that I was like, God, that's terrible. But it's over. Moving on. You know, that was my, and I think a lot of my generation's attitudes towards it. And it wasn't until I took these classes in criminology, about Aboriginal law, restorative justice, and news breaking out about the uncovering of these children, that really hit home, you know? Like, even talking about it now, it's still like I have a hard time talking about it just because of how, like, I guess upset and I don't know, just not angry, but like a fire. Like I'm like, this cannot happen again type thing, and I want to be a part of the solution. I want to study about this. I want to do this, you know? And it was after that I was like, yeah, okay, bring it on. I don't care, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take the LSAT, I'm gonna study for the LSAT, I'm gonna, you know, apply to law school, and I'm gonna go into this field and I'm gonna make a difference, kind of thing. Like, that was the first time in my life that I felt like, yes, like, this is what I want to do 110%. So I did it. It's so weird thinking back to my high school self who didn't know a thing, didn't know what I was gonna go into, didn't have any confidence in myself or anything like that. And looking at me now, you know, about to start a new journey, go down a path that, you know, I'm really passionate about and where I really want to make a difference, you know? So yeah, that's my why. That's my why, about why I want to go into law school, why I put the effort in, why and how it became a viable option to me in my eyes. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any questions. I can answer them about my journey and kind of how I got here in more depth if you're wondering. I'm planning on posting more videos about law school and, well, specifically the journey. I haven't started law school yet, obviously that's in September. But hopefully when I'm all better, I'll post another video. Maybe something about the LSAT or anything like that. But yes, also, guys, how could I forget to say thank you so much for 500 subscribers. I don't know if we'll still be at 500, it may have gone down, but at this current point, we're at 500 subscribers. That's crazy, that's insanity, that's like, what? I've been on YouTube for such a long time now, and I never did it for subscribers or anything like that. I like making videos of my friends and I in high school. That's why I posted. That's where I started posting. And now it's just so much fun, I don't want to stop. But yes, thank you. Everyone who's helped me out. Everyone who's believed, you know, in me and all that stuff. I hope this answers a lot of questions about the why. But yeah, like I said, let me know if you have any more questions. Drop a comment, drop a like, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Alright, I'm gonna go lie down now and drink more tea. Okay, bye.